Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Dunkin' Scrotums.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yep, and that's Dunkin' Donuts mug you got there with the skyline of Ohio on it, which includes the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on there. Welcome to our coffee morning, which is more importantly the Star Wars special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special.
Which is a reference to, which I think was released in 1978.
The first one?
No, the first film was 1977.
Okay.
But there was a made-for-TV special called the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Did that have Kermit in it? The Muppets? Because I remember seeing Mark Hamill dressed as Luke Skywalker on the Muppets once.
I don't think so. I haven't seen it.
Just the Muppets.
I think it was mostly C-3PO and R2-D2.
Okay.
But it's meant to be awful. You can't get hold of it very easily because it's that awful. And they basically hid it so that it wasn't canon anymore.
Was it like them presenting it, going, oh, hello?
I think so. I think it was a really cheesy, like, Christmas type thing or something.
This special, we will have to say from the get-go,
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Not just for The Force Awakens, but we also have inside information on the next 2 episodes.
Mm.
We don't. I just made that up. So,
We've been like on a hard line to George Lucas and J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that's it. Who sadly I only realised recently, apparently it's always been known, but I didn't realise he wasn't doing the next 2 films, J.J.
No, but he has said, I don't know whether it's him just trying to drum up some excitement for the next one. He said he's read the script of the next one and wishes he had actually said he was directing it.
Because he would do it much better.
Yeah. I don't know.
He'd edit the shit out of it and make it good.
Something that JJ's always been good at is like starting something. Most of the TV shows he started, he would direct and co-write the first episode. They always had a great opening and then he would kind of leave it for other people to do whilst he stayed in a kind of producer capacity.
Is he staying on in some capacity then?
Yeah.
That's good. Because he's done it, we have to say from the... For good or bad?
I think before we even get into that,
okay,
there's something that's in my head. It's nothing to do with Star Wars. It's actually to do with the drive here. It's off the new Slipknot album. There's a song called Skeptic, but the way he says it,
featuring Skepta,
featuring Skrillex.
Oh.
Who's Skepta? No, it's not.
Skepta's a rapper.
Is he?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known that. But the way he says Skeptic sounds like Scab Dick, and I can't get it out of my head. Scab Dick. I just needed to make that said before.
That's fair enough.
And Star Wars was pretty good as well.
Yeah.
As well as that Slipknot song.
Let's talk about Slipknot. All the S's.
Yeah.
I watched it Christmas Eve.
Right.
On my own.
On your own?
On my own. I went to the cinema on my own.
Okay.
And everyone was like, oh, that's pathetic. But as did your look there. But I think if you're sitting in the dark for 2 hours in complete silence, you don't need anyone else.
Mm.
And I had a whale of a time.
How full was the cinema?
About half full.
Mine was almost completely full.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you go on the first day?
I went on the Sunday after it was released.
First weekend.
So that would have been like the 20th or something?
Yeah, I went on Christmas Eve, which was Thursday night, and I went to the 6pm showing at the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Which I've never been to before, really like the Phoenix.
Mm.
You can buy beer and sit in there with beer, but I was scared I'd need a wee.
Mm.
So for the 6 hours prior to seeing the film, I pretty much didn't have any liquid.
I remember having the feeling, I remember doing the same thing of trying not to drink, only having a little bit. About an hour in, I started to need the loo. What I did was, I tried to work out, like, if, let's say, if a scene seemed like it was going to be boring, or not, like, integral to the plot, I was kind of sitting there and thought, okay, this seems like a scene that might not be integral and might be a bit boring. I'll wait and see if I'm right about this scene, and watch this scene, and if I get that feeling again, then I'll go to the loo. But I was wrong about that scene. So I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't go?
I stayed
so
in there in
like,
pain.
Han's just walking onto a bridge to have a chat with his son. It will be fine.
It'll be fine. Oh, that looks like a long drop.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fine. So I didn't pee.
Okay.
I was in pain, so I could see it all.
That's the only way to truly appreciate Star Wars.
Mm.
How are we going to start the conversation about this?
Do you think it's a perfect movie?
Whether it's perfect or not that I expected. I went into this film with pretty much no expectations. I didn't know what was going to happen next as such. I had an idea that obviously some of the old cast are in it. Didn't quite know what direction it's going. Obviously you kind of know the basics. There's like a dark uprising.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the film.
Mm.
I thought it was a brilliant film. I thought the funny bits were good. There were some bits that you kind of think, well, would they be cheesy? But the film back in the original films when they made jokes, the jokes were very dated. And I think they've made some sort of modern jokes in this. And I think it was really well done.
The tone of it was perfect.
Yeah. It was a great film, great actors. What's Finn's name in real life? Boyega, is it?
John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Pretty much unknown actors.
Have you seen Attack the Block?
No.
Have we spoken about
You
this?
said that he was in that.
Do you know Adam and Joe show? It was
Know of it,
like,
yeah.
sort of amateur sketch show sort of thing years ago. But Joe Cornish directed a film called Attack the Block, which is set on a London council estate.
Yeah.
I think in Brixton.
Yeah.
Like, they used to live in Brixton, which is where their sketch show was sort of filmed around. They did stupid things like where biscuits, 50% off.
Yeah.
They go into a shop and eat for 50%. Or it says 50%
Right,
free.
yeah.
But it's free.
Is that what John Boyega's from then?
No, but those guys who did that sketch show, Joe Cornish was one of them who basically went on to direct this film called Attack the Block.
Mm.
And it's about these kids from this council estate who, it starts off, he's the leader of them, his name's Moses. They're horrible, they mug people, they're really intimidating. But as the film goes on, aliens attack their council estate and they have to fight back.
I have heard of this.
And they kind of become anti-heroes. But that's all I'd seen him in, and I didn't realise when I saw, because now he's an adult, like back then he was only about like maybe 14, 15, something like that, or he looked really young anyway, and I didn't realise when I saw the trailers that it was him, because he's grown up so much, and then I realised who it was, and I thought, how's this going to kind of work? Because he's a British actor as well, and I thought he was great.
He was great, and Daisy Ridley was great as well. I mean, basically she was a female Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
All that shit where they're running around and she's like, stop trying to hold my hand, stop trying to guide me.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Can you remember the plot of the movie?
Pretty much.
What does it start with?
It comes up saying Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And then and all shiny a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Mm.
I like how they've kept the really dated Arial font, or whatever it is that they've got there in the blue.
So they've kept all the wipes as well between scenes.
Yeah. I liked how when it came up with Star Wars, I still got goosebumps. When it comes up with the stars and the yellow writing. Yeah. That still sent me like, ooh.
Oh, did it start with the whole Stormtrooper sequence?
It starts with them all flashing and it's all dark and they're in the dropship.
Yeah. Aren't they going to like slaughter a whole load of people?
Yeah, it starts with that guy, the pilot.
Yeah.
Who goes down to that planet, because they say, where they go, she's General Organa, she sent her best pilot to this planet to find someone who knows, like an old friend, I think they say, or something, to get info on where Luke Skywalker is. Yeah. So they think Luke Skywalker, the whole thing that comes up in the thing is, they're trying to find Luke because they feel that he can kind of restore some sort of balance to all the uprising that's happening with the new... They're called the not New Order, First Order.
New Order.
Yeah, they came along with their simps.
And their true faith in the Empire.
Yeah. Have they got a song called True Faith?
It's probably their most famous song.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Next to Blue Monday.
Okay. I don't really know much New Order.
Yeah.
That whole scene, from the outset, I really liked the pilot.
Yeah. Considering how cool he was and how like awesome he came across, he was barely in the film.
There's a rule of films with me, like when he then Finn rescues him and all that, and then they get crashed on. I keep saying Tatooine, but it's not. It's a different planet.
Jakku. Yeah. Jakku.
Yeah.
I haven't started playing it yet, but I was bought Battlefront on PS4. I need to buy a PS4 to play it, but as part of like the pre-order package, you get the Jakku map on it.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, the Jakku map. But no, even before they crash. There's a whole scene of them like meant to be slaughtering people where they capture him, where all the stormtroopers are like ordered to kill
on Jakku. Yeah, at night time. Yeah, that's when BB-8, the robot, runs off.
Yeah,
he tells him to go.
And it's the John Boyega character is like
one of the guys.
Yeah, and he refuses to do it.
Yeah,
and doesn't like someone he know like die in front of him.
Yeah, and there's blood over.
And they like kind of he wipes his hand over his face, and it's a really good way to say, this is the stormtrooper you're meant to be watching.
Yeah.
So you don't forget he's got blood on his face, the others don't.
That's it, yeah. It was a bit weird with the female silver stormtrooper.
Yeah, she didn't really have much to do.
No. She didn't seem too sinister, but then I thought Kylo Ren was great. I have a thing. You're looking at me like
I don't want to see it.
Huh?
I don't want to see a thing.
Oh yeah, I've got a hole in my jeans, haven't I? So.
I have a thing.
Yeah. You didn't really get much blood in the original. Okay, you did get burnt bodies in Tatooine.
Oh yeah. Rewatching that, I forgot. Like
it's pretty dark.
Oh shit! Yeah. Burnt bodies.
Yeah, pretty grim. But you didn't really get much blood in the old ones, but it didn't overdo it in this one. It just felt a bit right. And it felt good. And I like some of the things they did with like.
Sometimes blood feels good.
It does on your helmet. Yeah, I thought it was really good how they introduced Kylo Ren on that planet with his ship, because you kind of get the distinct feeling of his ship with the weird wings and all that. When he gets shot at and he holds the laser there.
That for me was brilliant.
Yeah.
That was one of the most original bits
Yeah.
about what is pretty much an original movie.
He manipulates the Force very well, I thought. He adds to it. There's a whole thing for me, in horror films, when someone has a mask, or if you kind of see the aftermath of what this horror thing has done, but you don't actually see the beast, it's always scarier.
Yeah.
When they reveal it, it's always a bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
But when he took his mask off, mainly because he isn't the prettiest of guy, I thought he was scarier when you saw his face, which for me is good, because usually when you see someone take their mask off, you kind of think, oh, that's a letdown, but I thought he really looked evil, and I thought that was really well done.
Well, you touched on two things that I want to talk about.
Okay.
One of them is how you were saying that he seems to have like a speciality in how he manipulates things using the Force. The Force Awakens is the right title because there's so much use of the Force in the movie, more than you've ever seen in any other Star Wars film. One of the things they did was say that different Jedi have different specialities in the Force. Well, they didn't say it, but they showed it.
Yeah.
So he can clearly manipulate stuff with the Force.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley's character, Rey, considering this is the first movie that this is the first time that she's realised she can use the Force, and she already like teaches herself how to talk people around to doing stuff, like Obi-Wan. It says that that's a specialism of hers, or is going to be, and that also says that she might be related to Obi-Wan.
Do you reckon?
Which is a very heavy rumour at the moment, like well-considered rumour.
How much do you know about the Star Wars expanded universe, which is the books and the literature and all that sort of stuff?
I was going to get into it.
Firstly, I didn't realise Kylo Ren, this is the main spoiler of the film, one of the main two, is that Kylo Ren is Han Solo's son.
Yeah.
You get told that not too far into the film by the big Gollum.
Yeah.
That's also Andy Serkis, who looks just like Gollum in the Throne.
Yeah, he really does. Way moves his head, everything.
Yeah, maybe that's how Andy Serkis would look if he was a heroin addict. But
massive heroin addict.
Yeah, literally. What I know from the books, Han and Leia have twins.
Yeah.
I'm guessing one is Kylo,
whose
real name's Ben. And I really liked it when Han went, Ben, wait!
Yeah.
But I'm going to sample that. It's the only time if I walk off and Rachel needs me to come back for something, I'll make her sample that. Ben, wait! Otherwise, I'll just ignore her. And they have twins, so there is another rumour going around that maybe Rey is his sister. But I thought Han and Leia, they probably would have mentioned something about having a daughter, if that was the case. Because obviously there's got to be something with her parents, because it shows them go off.
Yeah.
So something's got to come into that.
Yeah.
But somebody's letting off fireworks in the middle of the day.
How nice of them. We should also say that we're in a different podcast arena for the first time. And it's clearly a firework-based one.
Somebody's letting off fireworks. It's literally midday. It's 12:15. Someone just like lit a box of fireworks and down a runner or something. Just like the front garden.
Is my car on fire?
Sadly, no. It's still there.
Oh.
We're on a different podcast arena.
It's Ben's living room.
It is my living room, and
Ben's made himself very at home in his living room.
Yeah.
He's insisting on being mostly naked. He's wearing socks. He's wearing one sock anyway.
One sock, yeah.
In a Chili Peppers style.
Yeah. Yes, we're in a different podcast arena with its Death Star windows. Bay windows. Yeah, I thought that
Boyega windows. Bayega? No, that's really shit.
Doesn't really, yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go back to Star Wars.
Mace Window. Yeah, there is a rumour going around that Rey is his Kylo Ren's twin sister. That would be a bit silly. Firstly, because it's a whole nother "you are my sister."
Yeah.
And also, maybe that's why they haven't done that. But there's got to be some of her parents coming into it, because it shows them like going off, and she's waiting for them for years, it seems, and they haven't returned. So they've got to come into it somewhere along the line. But you would think if it was Han and Leia, they'd know that, especially with the Force that Leia feels. She would have known that's her daughter. It's stupid that they don't. She would have remembered what her mum looked like anyway as well.
Yeah.
So they must have written that out.
With the expanded universe, they've said that they're not going to keep that canon.
Okay.
It should be disregarded as like a separate universe.
Okay.
But they have taken certain elements from it.
Like Kylo Ren.
Yeah. So whereabouts are we in the film?
Okay, so like we've introduced Rey. Okay, so Finn, he basically start off. You see that he's in a battle. He's a stormtrooper and he gets freaked out. And you kind of realise he's a bit uneasy. He moves differently to the rest of them as well, so you can kind of tell who he is. And he basically ends up.
He walks in like Shaft.
Yeah. Who's the stormtrooper? Poe gets captured, who's the guy, the pilot who goes to the planet to find info where Luke is. He's got a chip that he hides in...
his ass.
Yeah. Like in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
In the robot BB-8, which is basically a new R2-D2 style robot. BB-8.
BB-8 was awesome.
Yeah, really good.
Have you seen the toys you can get?
No.
You can get one that's controlled by an app on your phone, and it basically does move around like BB-8, and you can like direct it.
Wow.
And I'm sure you can do all sorts of weird stuff with it as well.
Yeah, I bet you could.
It is shaped like two balls, so...
One really squished against the other. Basically, Finn rescues... At this point, he doesn't have a name. It's just like FN1927 or something like that. Is that his name? Something like that.
Yeah.
And he's just a stormtrooper number, and he rescues Poe from the Star Destroyer. Is it Star Destroyer? I can't remember. Base. Yeah.
But I reckon Poe's going to become a bigger character
I think so,
in the next one.
I was wondering if he was like related to, or if they were going to show Wedge Antilles.
That'd be cool.
Because that actor, Dennis Lawson, is sort of well-known-ish British actor.
But didn't you feel like Poe was a bit like a mixture of...
Luke and Han.
Yeah, Luke and Han, exactly. But they wouldn't bring him in until the next one, maybe.
Well, I think he was good in it. I thought it was a good introduction to him. In the trailers, when it showed Poe fighting in the X-Wing, I thought he was Luke. I thought that was Mark Hamill. Because when he's done up in the gear with his like helmet on and stuff like that, I actually thought that was Mark Hamill, because I thought the thing Mark Hamill was known for, or Luke Skywalker was known for the most, was being a really good pilot. Yeah. Because he's older now, he probably can't fight as well. So maybe they're bringing him back in as a pilot. Yeah. And I thought that was him. Because he looked like him. Yeah. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
He helps him escape the base that they're on.
And they go to Jakku. Back to Jakku because they're near it. And they crash. They're in a TIE fighter. They steal a TIE fighter. Which is quite good seeing someone talk about TIE fighters, because they are really cool the way their physics work. And he's a really good pilot, Poe. And he tries to work it. And that's quite fun, where they're like tied to the thing and trying to shoot everyone. Yeah. They crash. It seems like Poe's left in the TIE fighter and it sinks into the quicksand. Finn's left on his own in the desert, and he makes his way towards the nearest town, which is where he meets Rey. Yeah. And then stormtroopers are looking for him. One thing I have to say, you were talking about the Force and Rey and how she does the manipulating people more. Yeah. And how certain people are better at the fighting and all that. Yeah. Like Kylo Ren's obviously manipulates the actual Force, like the physical sort of aspect of it. There's a thing, it's not really linked as such, but do you know the whole thing about the different colour lightsabers and what they're meant to represent as the Jedi? You got blue and green. Yeah. Apart from Mace Windu, purely because Samuel L. Jackson wanted to stand out in the battle scenes. That's why he had a purple lightsaber. Or a pink lightsaber, whatever, because he wanted to see himself in the battles. Right. And he said, I'll only do it if you give me a different colour, because I'm Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, that's badass. Yeah. But usually it's either blue or green. And apparently it's meant to represent, the blue ones are meant to represent people who are more physical and get involved with the actual fighting and soldier sort of side of it. And soldier side, yeah. The green ones are meant to be for the people who are more diplomatic. So if you think of with like Qui-Gon Jinn or whatever, and Obi-Wan's got the blue and he fights more. Qui-Gon's meant to be a bit more diplomatic and stuff. Yeah. And the same with Luke later on, he gets a green one because he's meant to be a bit more composed. Right, yeah. Same as Yoda's got a green one. Yeah. And apparently that's what they're meant to represent.
Oh, that's
Blue's
cool.
meant to be more...
So what's the purpley pink one represent then?
Just being like badass.
Yeah.
Means you're allowed to swear in the Jedi Council. That's apparently what they represent.
Oh, that's cool.
So there are different types of sort of Jedi. And then you've got red, which is obviously Sith. And for love, for passion. So basically, Rey meets Finn.
Yeah, they piss around on Jakku for a bit.
She's got BB-8 with her.
Yeah.
She finds BB-8 because he's run off in the battle beforehand, the day before, whenever it is.
A little vibrating love egg that is BB-8. It gets Finn to pop it in for. Yeah. I knew this would go downhill eventually. That's the movie I saw.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Yeah.
So then the stormtroopers basically chase him.
Yeah. What's BB stand for?
Big Ben.
Big Ben.
Big Ben 8.
Not big, beautiful.
Is it because he looks like a ball bearing? BB. Ball bag.
Isn't Quentin Tarantino making like the hateful BB-8? Or something?
I thought you were saying he's directing episode 8.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Also, they jump on the Millennium Falcon, don't they? That's the next bit.
They run, yeah, because there's a bit where they're chased by the stormtroopers.
Which is a wonderful kind of build-up to, they haven't shown anything that's super nostalgic and Star Warsy. They kind of make their universe
apart from
first.
stormtroopers, yeah.
Yeah. And then they show, here's the Millennium Falcon, and they...
Because the way they do it is they go, oh, like that shit, they go for a ship and it gets blown up or something. They go, I'll just go for that junk.
Yeah.
Piece of junk. And you turn around, it's the Millennium Falcon, and you're like, that's not a piece of junk.
No, they don't know about the Kessel Run.
Yeah. Then they jump onto the Millennium Falcon. And that was a cool scene where they're kind of crashing a bit through the sand and fighting through the trenches. And you see the Millennium Falcon in an unfamiliar setting where usually it's always fighting out in space. And it's fighting through canyons and stuff. And I thought that was really well done.
Yeah. And then they escape out into space and then get like sucked up into a massive barge type ship.
Yeah.
And at this point you're already about 20-25 minutes into the movie.
Pretty much, yeah. Lo and behold,
Han and Chewie
walk in.
Chewie, we're home.
We're home. That was really good. The way they did that as well was cool because I wasn't quite expecting how they kind of knew about it.
But from the moment you see Harrison Ford, he's almost a main character in the movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like co-lead with Daisy Ridley, you could argue.
And John
Boyega.
Yeah, then from that point you get quite a bit of nostalgia, but really tactfully done. I mean, Han looks wicked. He looks like Han. He doesn't look like Harrison Ford. He looks like Han.
Yeah, and he acts like Han Solo as well. That was important to me because if you've watched Harrison Ford movies for the past 15-20 years, he's just been in sort of second or third gear of just coasting through and just being there. But finally he was acting again and he was Han Solo.
Yeah, that's it. Chewie hasn't really aged, really.
No, he hasn't. Although they do like make some sort of reference to it, like Chewie being cold.
Yeah.
At one point.
Yeah. Is that because he's getting old? I
think so. Did they mention that?
It's just the fact that Chewie whinges because in the earlier films, Chewie, even though he's really tough and can kill people relentlessly, he's kind of a bit of a not a coward, but he gets a bit wimpy at times. And if he gets injured, he gets upset.
Yeah.
And there was a great bit where he gets shot, kind of a bit of just a flesh wound.
Yeah.
He's moaning to the nurse and all that. Oh my god! Really funny.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of bits in the ship. There was a couple of references. One was a really small one that I don't know if you picked up on. You probably did. The whole thing with the chessboard.
Yeah.
Which was obviously Finn leans on the chessboard and it sets up.
Yeah. With
the battle and it shows these characters fighting on Millennium Falcon. There's the 3D hologram chess thing.
Yeah.
But there's another bit where they're going through the box of stuff. And I don't know if you saw because it's almost out of focus. But he picks up the little hovering ball that Luke has when it fires lasers at him when he's got the blast shield over his face. You know when he's trying to train the lightsaber in A New Hope. He picks that up out of the box.
Badass! I didn't see that.
And it's only really small. He basically just looks at it and puts it aside. But they do it so casually.
Oh, that's awesome.
That I saw it. I was like, oh yeah.
It's another love egg that they find.
Yeah, hovering ball. Which is your stage name.
Yeah. What I loved is the kind of like effortless camaraderie and like fun between all the characters suddenly when they're all together.
Yeah. There's a sense of safety with Han.
And BB-8 popping out the lighter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Is that when he's doing that or something? Because I said that some people said he was doing a thumbs up, but I thought he was sticking a middle finger up with the lighter.
I couldn't decide between the two.
Because
I felt like it was a middle finger.
Because the whole thing is Finn, like basically nobody realised at this point that Finn was a stormtrooper. All they know is that he's like kind of like Finn on the run.
Well, doesn't he say that he's part of the Resistance?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he says he's part of the Resistance.
Viva la Resistance.
And then because Rey doesn't, because Rey doesn't, she's kind of on this island. She wants to be part of the Resistance. She hears about it. She kind of like, oh yeah, I'll chill with you then. Yeah, there's so many good little like things, but especially between Rey and Finn. Someone brought it up to me yesterday, or a couple of days ago, about where he's going to so why you want to go back home? You got a boyfriend back home? So a cute boy back home or something like that. Yeah. She basically is kind of like taking on the Han's wing, isn't she? She's a sort of co-pilot. She wants to be. Yeah. And
you'd have loved to have seen that develop over another movie. Oh well. Anyway, so what happens next?
So then they go off to meet at that weird jungle place.
Oh yeah.
During this time, Kylo Ren's basically
having a Mardy.
He's getting a bit annoyed because Poe gets rescued until the sinking of the TIE fighter.
And there's a whole bit where it shows him losing his shit with like command console or something.
And he smashes into it.
Yeah.
Which there's another good bit like that. I can't remember if it's then or later.
It's like 45 minutes later in the movie where Rey breaks free and he just you don't see him smash stuff up. It actually gives a shot outside the door and two stormtroopers are walking around the corner and kind of you can hear him smashing stuff up and they kind of stop and walk the other way.
That's genius. So they go off to this jungle planet and meet this lady who's meant to be a really old, like sort of alien.
In a scene that's clearly meant to be the cantina.
Yeah, the new cantina. The old one probably got shut down for tax purposes and murder.
Yeah.
And then they've reopened it in the jungle planet somewhere.
And they've got this weird thing that looks a bit like Yoda, a kind of female Yoda almost.
Yeah, weird.
But not as green, more like orangey.
No, she had the orange glasses. She's a bit more orange.
Who is she played by?
I don't know who does the voice. But she does look a bit like the alien inside the head in Men in Black.
Yeah.
They're basically bargaining. What are they bargaining for?
I can't remember why they're there, but like, isn't there a bit where Finn's like, I'm going to go speak to these two people, they're going to take me on a ship?
That's it, because Finn wants to go off and just run away from... They're like, we should fight the First Order and go to like Leia on the base and sort
I got a
this
tiny
stuff
bit
out.
of trivia about that bit.
Okay.
Supposedly there's a longer deleted scene, because I think they released like the novel.
The Force Awakens. Okay.
And there's a whole scene in there that wasn't in the film, and they're like, people are wondering whether it was shot and deleted afterwards and might be on a Blu-ray edition. There's a whole bit with Chewbacca like tearing off someone's arm, where they get into some sort of argument and he tears off someone's arm.
Like Obi-Wan cuts the arm off in the...
Yeah, like Obi-Wan cuts the arm off, and also like when you hear that when Chewie loses a game, he rips someone's arm off.
Oh yeah. That's what they say about the chess. Because who's playing him? C-3PO's playing him, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you'll just let him win, R2-D2.
What, robots don't tear people's arms off when they lose? Isn't that what Han says or something?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole scene supposedly that was going to be in there. There's a character that they think Simon Pegg played, because Simon Pegg apparently had a small role.
Oh, right.
And he was supposedly in that scene, and that might be a deleted scene, maybe.
Hopefully, that'd be cool. But yeah, there's a whole thing. Finn basically wants to get away from the First Order. He just wants to get. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He just wants to go on the run, mainly because he was one of them. He knows he can kill him.
He hates New Order.
Yeah,
he's more of a Joy Division.
Yeah, that's it. When Ian Curtis died, which is like the Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He didn't like it anymore. Yeah, he tries to go on the run, so they basically try and find him a ship, and then all the other guys like let's stay. And doesn't she say to Rey sort of wants to go back home because she's got a whole kind of family thing where she was sort of abandoned as a kid and she feels obliged to wait back in Jakku for her family to come back. That this is like years later. It's got to be like 15 years later or something like that. And they haven't. So rather than get a message, she's just like, I still want to go back. So Han and Chewie decide to go on, don't they? Sort of, but then shit goes down on the planet.
Before that, you're missing out the whole bit where with the lightsaber, where she goes into some back room. She hears stuff, doesn't she? She hears screams or something downstairs. Yeah. And she goes down into this, basically a dungeon. Yeah. It's not a BDSM dungeon, unfortunately.
No. Farren's basement was cut from the final. And she finds a box. The old lightsaber in the box thing happens. She finds Luke's original lightsaber.
And the moment she touches it,
it spurts to life. The moment she touches it, she hears screams.
Yeah, I got some trivia about it's a weird kind of like flash. It's a flashback thing, but flashback to stuff that she hasn't personally experienced or maybe
like
hasn't.
Luke's memories.
Yeah. There's lots of like different echoey noises in that, and you see a quick shot of a hand, which looks like Luke's hand touching R2-D2. Not in that way.
Yeah.
But you hear lots of different quotes from the movies and lots of other random voices. And in those random voices, they'd taken a bit of Alec Guinness, an outtake from the original film of him saying the word afraid, and they've trimmed the word down, so he just says Ray.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. And they also got Ewan McGregor to record a line of dialogue and put that in there as well.
Oh, I didn't even realise that. I'm going to have to rewatch that scene, well, the whole thing.
And there's also bits of Yoda, I think, in there.
But someone brought up something, yeah? How have they got that lightsaber? That fell out the bottom of Cloud City.
It did, didn't it?
When Luke got his hand cut off in...
Surely they'll know how
But when he fell down the chute, the lightsaber in his hand were there. And you see it visibly fall out the bottom of Cloud City where Luke is holding on before the Millennium Falcon pulls up underneath. Yeah,
you're right, because it's his original lightsaber. It's not the...
it's not the green one, it's
that
the blue
he made.
One. It's the blue one that was Anakin's. So how have they got that back?
Maybe that'll be explained in the next one. Maybe. Or in one of the spin-off movies that we're going to get, because...
I heard about it.
We're going to get a Star Wars film every year.
Yeah, because it's 2 years to the next one, but is it...
No, we're getting one next year.
Yeah, but the episode 8 is 2 years time, but then is it a pilot-based one, or X-Wing or something
next
like that?
Year we're getting...
Pilot Command
or
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue One.
Okay.
And that's supposedly going to be based on when they steal the Death Star battle plans. When they get the plans and they say many
people die getting us this information. That one.
Yeah. So we're going to find out who died.
Okay.
So that's next year. That's 2016. Then 2017 we get episode 8. 2019, we're getting another spin-off movie, which is going to be either Han Solo one.
What, the early years?
Yeah. Supposedly they're casting for someone in their late 20s, I think.
That's us.
Yeah, that's us. We're here. We're ready.
So it's basically going to be him and Lando at casinos and shagging loads of women.
Yeah. So that's heavily rumoured to the point where it's pretty much definitely going to be a Han Solo movie. So when did I say that? What year was that?
You said that 2018, but would that be 2019? Or it'd be 2018, that?
Yeah.
And then 2019?
2019 will be
9.
episode 9. Then there's talk of a third spin-off.
Ooh.
And that's all that's been announced. And they haven't said exactly what the third spin-off will be. But their biggest rumours at the moment are either a Boba Fett movie, which people love Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Or an Obi-Wan movie with Ewan McGregor.
Ooh. What, like after...
Yeah,
between 3 and 4.
The in-between years.
The in-betweeners.
Yeah, the in-betweeners.
So what, basically it'll be him becoming a recluse in Tatooine doing nothing all day.
Well, what leads to him doing that, maybe?
Yeah.
Because maybe there's an in-between bit.
Did he not just, like, basically stay on Tatooine since Luke was born to keep an eye on him?
Maybe.
Because that's the reason he's in Tatooine, isn't it? At the end of episode 3, they give the baby to...
Yeah.
What's his name?
Uncle Ben? No, that's Uncle
that's
Owen.
That's the rice.
Owen and Baru.
Yeah.
That's it.
They show the baby with him, and then, as far as I assume...
Take this baby.
Yeah. Alright. Obi-Wan...
Nom, nom, nom.
Obi-Wan stays on there. I assume to just keep an eye on Luke. I really need a wee.
Well, enjoy. I'll think of you.
There's a slight break in the Star Wars recording.
So Ben could pee, and Ben's giving me chocolate orange.
You're giving me chocolate orange. I have some alcoholic sweets, which I'd like Farren to try one of. Passion fruit margarita or mojito.
Could I have the margarita, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me just pop the ball out.
Oh.
Mini guest stars.
Smells alcoholic.
Really alcoholic, aren't they?
Yeah. Where are they from?
Hotel Chocolat. We'd be alright to drive.
I think so. Oh, Katy Perry World Tour DVD.
Yeah. Rach got that for Christmas.
For you.
No, but I shall be watching it.
See what outfit she wears.
She wears several outfits. Rachel saw her live for that tour. She did like 3 or 4 costume changes.
What,
Not in front of the audience.
Okay, where were we on Star Wars? Oh, the flashback vision bit.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they get attacked and bomb the shit out of.
There is a massive battle.
With Han and Chewie shooting shit.
Yeah.
And isn't that where Han picks up the Chewie's bow?
Because Chewie gets shot, is that right?
Yeah,
is that
and
why he
he's
picks
like,
it up?
I love this shit.
Or he says, I just need to... Yeah, I think he basically needs to shoot someone at far distance, and then Chewie's like, use the bow, while he goes... and then...
Yeah, hold on, were you watching Rain Man?
Yeah.
Don't pick up the bow, don't pick
Shoot a blaster. Massive fight. Kylo Ren's there, loads of stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Loads of people get shot up.
Whips his dick out.
Yeah, that's it. And that's how it ends. The whole film.
He got his little cross guard on his dick.
That's it, yeah.
Lightsaber.
Two balls just out to the side.
He captures Rey and flies off, and they're like, yeah, fine, whatever. Oh no, I think John Boyega's pretty sad about it, but Han Solo's like, yeah, whatever.
But he sees Kylo Ren, and he's like, oh my god, like, that's a bit awkward. That's my son.
Yeah.
But
the ship drops down and Leia's there. And Leia
but before all that, there's a bit where there's all the fight, and all of a sudden you see probably one of the greatest scenes of the film, where all the X-Wings are flying across the water, and you realise Poe's alive.
Yeah.
Because he didn't sink in the thing.
And there's a brilliant shot that follows one of the X-Wings, like, flying around the battle. It's really good.
That's him, that's Poe, I think. And it shows him going in and out of, like... they're, like, zooming in and out and shooting everything. And he they say how good a pilot is, and you see him basically shoot individual stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Because the whole film is a lot of it, apart from there's a bit of action at the beginning, then there's a lot of kind of talk, and then out of nowhere this battle erupts.
And it's a full-on battle.
Yeah.
And JJ's really good at that kind of shit. One of the ships lands and...
Leia comes out,
and she looks great. I think she looked great.
Considering she's old, they've made her look alright.
And considering she didn't look great for a long while, and they've made her go on a diet.
Yeah.
and yeah, she looks amazing. But the moment she starts to move her face and speak,
you can tell she's really old. She speaks like an old person.
Yeah, who's had a lot of surgery.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't seem like that when she's in an interview, which is weird. But she did in the movie. It was just like...
She sounds a
barely
bit like
moving
she's
her
got
mouth.
false teeth, doesn't she? She whistles a bit when she speaks. But then again, it is sort of 30, 40 years on. She is now old, bless her. The coolest thing about it is you kind of forget about the old droids. And then out of nowhere, when Leia... There's a really emotional scene where Han and Leia kind of walk towards each other.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, this is really nice. And out of nowhere, C-3PO just pops up, hello.
Like he always used to. Like he did in Empire. He did that
when they're on the ship together, when they're inside the belly of the worm. I think that's when it is, and he pops around. One thing I did think, it's just me being, this is just my mother's good manners just integrated into me, was C-3PO doesn't show and go off and greet Chewie. I thought that would have been really nice if he'd have gone up to Chewie, because they just have a bit of a affinity with each other, but he just kind of bypasses Chewie.
Yeah, he ignores him, and Chewie was really upset in Empire when C-3PO was in pieces and he was trying to put him together.
Yeah, trying to help him, and he proper built him back up.
C-3PO just walks past him.
It's one thing I thought, that's terribly bad manners, C-3PO. You're meant to be a diplomatic robot, you're meant to be an... what are they called? What's his type of robot called?
Oh, fuck. Fuck bot.
Yeah, that's the one.
A protocol droid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Protocol droid.
Yeah.
And he completely blanks Chewie.
Yeah.
But that was rather rude of him. There's a whole scene where then they realise Finn sort of he admits that he was a stormtrooper. And they
just when they go back to, like, they're in some kind of base.
Which out of nowhere, you see Admiral Akbar.
Yeah.
And you see Nien Nien, whatever he's called. Nien Nien. Lando's co-pilot.
Yeah, who does the stupid laugh.
Yeah. He's got a giant head.
Yeah. In that scene, there are two, like, cast members from Lost.
Oh, really?
And there's Greg Grunberg, who was also Matt Parkman on Heroes, if you ever watched Heroes.
Not really. Vaguely.
One of the very main characters in Heroes, but he was also the pilot in Lost.
Oh, right, okay.
And I can't remember the name of the actor, but he played Miles, I think, on Lost from season 4 onwards.
I did watch that phone.
So they're two, like, sort of J.J. Abrams cast members that he just brings on to shit. But Greg Grunberg is in every J.J. Abrams film and TV show, pretty much.
Okay.
One character I was hoping to see that it wouldn't have made... Yeah, but I think they're saving that maybe for the next one. There's one character I really like from Return of the Jedi. I think he's called something like Bib Fortuna.
Rings a bell.
And he's Jabba the Hutt's, like...
The guy with the big white neck thing.
That goes round his neck, yeah.
When he speaks, he goes, you'll take the Wookiee to Jabba. He goes, Taka the Wookiee to Jabba.
Oh, the Jabba Walker.
Yeah.
I just love the way he speaks.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really creepy. There's no cause for him, though.
No, there was no cause. I just wanted to hear him speak again and say something ridiculous.
So then, basically, it shows there's a lot of scene where Han and Finn and Chewie decide to go to the planet.
Yeah.
Which is sort of like a Death Star that's merged onto a planet.
Yeah, to save Rey, but she kind of saves herself.
Yeah, but she's stuck on this planet, and there's a really great scene where she's tied up.
And she works out she can...
use the Force.
Do you know the trivia about that scene?
No.
Who played that stormtrooper?
Is it Daniel Craig?
Yes.
I heard that. I was going to mention it when you said about Simon Pegg, but then I forgot again. But I heard that. Is that true?
Yeah. It's cool, isn't it?
That is cool, yeah.
It's a really funny scene, but it's something I love about so many of the scenes.
They call him Skyfalker.
They have like lots of dual purpose scenes where it's funny, but it's like really important because it shows her learning how to use the Force.
But the fact that when she's like tied up and she's trying to manipulate this guy's mind, who's a stormtrooper on guard, and she says something like, "You will untie me," and he's like, "No, I won't." And I thought that was really good because there's like with Obi-Wan, he just does it straight away, doesn't he? And all that.
Well, they had to show her learning at least.
Yeah.
After that, she's met up with Finn, Han, and was Chewie there as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're going around trying to like dismantle stuff. And Rey's going around like how Obi-Wan did at the end of the first film, like turning
climbing
stuff off.
And all that. Is that another allusion to the possibility that she's Obi-Wan's kid? There's also a good bit in that where the female Silver Stormtrooper, who's like basically the second in command for Kylo Ren.
Yeah, who didn't really have anything to do.
No.
But the best scene was talking about putting her in the trash compactor.
Yeah. That was really cool because you don't really think about it when he says it, but they were like, what was your duty when you were on the ship? And he was like, in sanitation or whatever.
Which is supposedly a reference to Clerks, if you've seen Clerks.
Ages ago.
There's a whole section of Clerks which is about a 5 to 10 minute conversation where they talk about Star Wars and whether it was wrong to destroy the Death Star because a lot of the workers on the Death Star would have just been contractors who were just doing stuff like sanitation. Then Kevin Smith built his career around referencing Star Wars movies, and the first thing Kevin Smith posted was, "Did Star Wars just reference one of my movies?"
I could picture JJ being a fan of Kevin Smith.
Yeah, well, he did invite Kevin Smith onto the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
We've pretty much come up to like what is one of the most talked about scenes of the movie.
Yeah. But there's a whole thing with the trash compactor where they say, is there a trash compactor? Because obviously they had such a bad time, and you just assume that she got crushed to her death. Yeah. Really slowly.
Or maybe that was some kind of, I don't know, obscure way of talking about they're going to fuck her in the ass.
From both sides, Chewie and Han. Like a spit roast. Called the trash compactor. But they obviously in the middle, and you don't stop moving towards each other. Yeah. Then, do you want to talk about the scene, or shall I?
Did you cry?
I almost did.
I definitely did.
I had tears, but there's more. So I had more tears afterwards with Chewie's reaction
and with Leia's reaction.
Yeah, because she ain't even there.
No, but she
feels it.
They don't really talk about what she learned Force-wise. All she gets is feelings of something shit's happened.
Yeah.
I feel really depressed now.
Yeah. Well, she says, "I know. Somehow I've always known."
I watched a great thing online about that scene in Return of the Jedi when Han starts saying, "When Luke gets back, I'm not going to get in the way."
Yeah.
And then she says...
On Endor.
Yeah, on Endor. And then she says, "No, it's not like that at all. He's my brother." They play... What's the music? Is it from Kill Bill? You know the like kind of siren-y noise?
Yeah. Do, do, do.
They play that.
And it's Ironside. It's from Ironside.
Ah, is it? When Harrison Ford starts reacting to that information, they put it in slow motion and then start playing that kind of siren, and then show the shot from, is it the end of A New Hope where she kisses Luke? And it's just that siren and him like realising.
What we're beating around the bush about, because we don't want to say it, is... Well, do you want to talk through the scene?
Han sees Kylo Ren on this like kind of catwalk type thing.
Yeah. It's not as camp as that.
Yeah. And so he goes up to him to say, "Come home."
He confronts him as a father.
Yeah.
There's a bit beforehand where they basically say, I think Han says something to Leia, doesn't he? He goes like, he's not going to listen to the Force or something like that. He's not going to listen to that. And she's like, "No, but you're his father."
Yeah. Bring our boy home.
Yeah. So he goes up to him and he basically tries to say, "Just come back with us."
And doesn't Kylo say something along the lines of,
"I know what I have to do.
I know. Will you do what?
Will you help me?
Will you help me?" Which references a previous scene where he said, "To help myself, all what I need to do is kill my father," or something along those lines.
Something like that.
And so they're like really quite close. Are they almost hugging or just standing right in front of each other?
Kylo hands his lightsaber to Han.
Yeah.
And they're both holding onto the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And he says, "You can come back with us." And then all of a sudden, the whole thing is basically like they use the power from the sun on this planet. They harness the power of the sun, almost like a Death Star ray, Death Star beam, and they use that to destroy planets, basically to wipe out planets. Is there a scene where they wipe out Coruscant?
They wipe out somewhere. That's a big city type place, isn't it?
And Coruscant's meant to be the capital of the Empire, isn't it? Or whatever. I don't know if it is Coruscant or what, but they do that, and then to this power they're charging the device again. It's basically waiting for the sun. Then it all goes dark. I'll build you through what I saw the scene. So Han walks onto the bridge.
Yeah.
And you think to yourself, it's
catwalk.
Yeah. He minces onto the catwalk. It's got a massive drop below. And there was a moment there where I thought, no, they're not going to do this.
Yeah.
No. He walks out, he has this talk with Kylo Ren, and you kind of think, is he going to try and kill Han? He hands Han the lightsaber, and they're both holding on to it, and he says, "You can come back." And part of me was thinking, well, how are they going to explain his actions, and how is everyone in the Resistance going to forgive him after all these planets have been destroyed because of Kylo Ren, all this stuff's happened? And then it all goes dark because the sun's power gets drained, and all of a sudden Kylo Ren's face changes. Yeah. And he kills Han Solo.
Yeah, he turns on the lightsaber and it just goes through
Han's chest.
Yeah.
And Han falls off.
And it's one of those things where he can't survive that. Yeah. Oh God, no, they've done it, haven't
they? Yeah, and it's horrible. And the thing for me is, when in the cinema, because it wasn't that full, I was about 2 or 3 seats away from this girl. I had my hand to my mouth, like, trying not to throw up. No, just like, "Oh my God, what's happened?" I turned around and she was doing the exact same thing, like, hand up in the mouth, like, they didn't.
Rose sitting next to me in the cinema did the exact same thing, hand on her mouth, I think.
But what's more moving is after that happens, because it's witnessed by Chewie and Finn, and maybe Rey. Because they're all standing above, aren't they?
Yeah, and they just instantly start shooting, don't
They go mental. They start shooting at Kylo Ren. They even damage him, don't they? Doesn't he get
they hit
injured?
him, yeah.
And stormtroopers appear, and Chewie just goes mental when he shoots the shit out of the stormtroopers. And his rage there, that was what got me more.
Yeah.
Because it's like Chewie's...
Between that and then it cuts to a shot of Leia, like, sort of having to sit down and being like, oh...
So there's been a great disturbance in the Force.
Yeah, or she shit herself.
Yeah.
I need to get that scene and just put, like, shitting noises over.
Yeah, well, what is it he says in the thing? I had a great sense of great disturbance in the Force. All of a sudden, thousands of voices cried out.
Yeah.
And then one voice cried out this time.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, they say in big companies where a new CEO takes over the company and they fire people just to make a point.
Yeah.
It's almost like J.J. Abrams has come in, gone, this is my film.
Yeah.
Hands dead.
For me, the reason it happened and that it made sense that it happened, Harrison Ford didn't want to come back for Star Wars.
Oh, didn't he?
He didn't want to come back for Return of the Jedi. He wasn't even sure of coming back for Empire Strikes Back. They actually wrote into the script him being frozen in carbonite for Empire Strikes Back because they didn't know if they'd be able to get him back again. And that gave them the opportunity to bring him back or just keep him on ice until he ran out of money and wanted to come back to Star Wars. He said he was coming back for Return of the Jedi, but he wanted to be killed off in that, and for some reason they managed to work out that they wouldn't kill him off. So I think that he argued for that to be a plot point. For him to practically be the main character, and for then him to be killed off.
I thought it was a decision of the story, and it works. Because it sets up, there's not like will we win him back with love and all that sort of stuff. It's like, it sets up for a big old battle.
Yeah, it does. They needed something to mirror the weight of the death of Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan in A New Hope.
Yeah. True.
And I think it was bigger.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing that it was lacking is you felt there could have been more built between
Han and Kylo
over like a couple of movies.
Yeah, or at least a few more scenes.
Yeah.
He comes across sometimes as a bit of a brat, especially when he's sort of competing with that other guy who's part of the First Order, the guy who's like the more military looking guy who's dressed like...
Ian Curtis.
Yes, yeah. Like Grand Moff Tarkin sort of outfit, do you know what I mean? Like that sort of look.
Yeah.
That guy almost is more in favour with that big Sith Lord guy.
Right.
Who is that guy?
What?
Andy Serkis.
Lord Snoke.
Yeah.
There's lots of talk about who he could be. The most popular theory at the moment is that...
Palpatine's son.
No, do you remember Palpatine talked about him having a master who he learned how to bring people back to life and then he killed him? Do you remember him talking about that in the prequels?
That was in episode 3, wasn't it?
They're saying that that's him who brought himself back to life. Okay. Could be completely wrong. Why is he so big?
But is that just a hologram?
Maybe. Imagine if he's really small.
Yeah.
Or at least like Gollum sized.
Yeah.
Do you think in the next film, so we've got the First Order, do you think they'll call him the New Order in the next film?
What, when they actually come into power?
Yeah.
They could do.
Talking of Blue Monday, are you back at work on Monday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Sweet. On the 4th we will awaken. Because we're both back on the 4th.
Yeah, we are. The 4th awakens.
Yeah. Anyway.
So they go back, and the whole point is they've got a chip BB-8's got that's stored in him, which is basically a fraction of a map. In order they think it's going to show Luke's location or give a clue.
Yeah.
And he's only got this one piece.
Yeah.
And they don't know anywhere. It's not enough to help. And then they make a reference to R2-D2, who's at this point powered down.
Yeah.
Because he's Luke's droid basically, and they say like he's kind of powered down by Luke. And then all of a sudden he wakes up.
But before that, you're missing. There's a whole like battle scene in the snow.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Now that sticks out to me because there's something I expected to happen in that scene that didn't. That was kind of disappointing in a way.
What, see a Tauntaun? Or...
Yeah. Or they just all crawl in. Yeah, they crawl inside a Tauntaun.
Yeah.
What's the average temperature inside a Tauntaun? Lukewarm. They're fighting in the snow, and there's a bit where I think Rey is like on the floor and trying to reach for the lightsaber that's stuck in the snow.
Oh shit!
And you can see it like wobbling. And I expected when it sort of shoots out the ground, it to go like near her, but go past her
to Luke.
Luke.
That's what I thought the exact same thing.
Didn't happen. I was instantly disappointed by that. But when you think about it, that would render the entire plot of the film useless, because the whole point of the plot of the film is them trying to find Luke.
Yeah.
They're them trying to find the map. To put together the map to find him, and if he just turns up like, fuck you map, I'm here.
Yeah. I thought that because another thing that went through my mind was they say that the last thing they knew is they think Luke went to a place where one of the first Jedi temples was.
Yeah.
And that where there's a lot of Force concentrated there.
Yeah.
And I thought, wouldn't it be a sort of like a divine sort of thing if where Kylo Ren and the Sith Lord have built their base was equally the Force, you know, where the Force is concentrated. 'Cause basically, they build a space station into the side of a planet.
Yeah.
They use the planet as a weapon.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because it's like a step up from the Death Star.
Yeah.
But with that, I thought they were going to say that that's such a high concentration of the Force in that place that Luke has found himself in the same place and he's hiding, which is why he didn't come,
cool.
because he was on the same planet as them, hiding, trying to maybe manipulate the Force differently or something. And that's why when that happened, I thought that would make sense that he was there and that they'd found it.
Didn't it give you chills though in that last scene when she goes to hand him the lightsaber and he turns around and he's just crying?
Yeah, and with the beard.
Yeah.
And with the hand. I thought that was a good touch, not having the glove on the hand.
Yeah.
Having the mechanical hand.
Yeah. There's something on the internet that has a picture of him sort of halfway taking down his hood as he's turned round. And it says, hide and seek world champion 1983 to 2015.
But he basically did voice acting, didn't he, for like 30 years? He was like the Joker in the Batman.
Yeah, pretty much. And he was in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back as Cockknocker.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah. They were trying to get him back because they did a Jane Silent Bob cartoon movie, and he agreed to come back and voice Cockknocker. And then when they actually got round to making it and they tried to get in touch with him, they couldn't get in touch with him. And this was around about a year and a half, 2 years ago. They realised a year later they couldn't get in touch with him because he was weighing up whether he wanted to be Luke Skywalker or Cockknocker. And he chose not to be Cockknocker.
Yeah. Imagine that as like, you must have mixed emotions as like as Kevin Smith, because obviously he's a massive Star Wars fan. You think, now do I get him in my movie and it ruins everything in my childhood by not being in Star Wars? So basically, so that whole battle in the snow, it's got John Boyega finally facing up to Kylo Ren,
and he just
Finn
goes mad
and they have a fight. Someone mentioned, this is another thing people have said, you know, it's really close camera angles.
Yeah.
They've got rid of all the technical fanciness of the lightsaber fights. They've made them brutal.
Yeah.
They've made them aggressive.
It's cool.
And it works, yeah. What happens then with who does it go to, the lightsaber?
It does go to Rey and she fights
him. It does go to her, does it?
Yeah.
And then, so they have their fight in the snow, which is pretty good, really like, it's more about passion, that, isn't it? Like, you know, anger and stuff, and just battering each other. And it works really well. And
so
then,
by the end of the film, the last sort of 20 minutes, you're proper pumped and like getting chills and excited. And
their battle scenes are incredible in it.
What would you give the movie out of 10? And where would you place it on the
I'll give it a solid 8, if not 9.
Yeah. You have to see it again.
I thought there was no cheesiness to it, which is the one thing I was worried about. And I want to see it again. I thought it was really well done. Had the right balance of funny and dark. Yeah. And the scenes were great. Everything was great.
At the very least, probably the third best Star Wars movie.
Do you reckon third?
At least. Empire, A New Hope.
Then Force Awakens.
Then
Return of the Jedi.
Then Return of the Jedi. Then Revenge of the Sith.
Did you have a bit of beef with Return of the Jedi then?
See, the Ewoks don't bother me as much as they bother most people.
They bother a lot of people.
Yeah.
As a kid, Return of the Jedi was always my favourite when I was younger. But that was because it was kind of the conclusion and the epic sort of finale.
And I loved the music when like Luke and Darth finally fight at the end.
Yeah, that's really
and you can barely see anything but the lightsabers.
Yeah, it's just their silhouettes, isn't it, really? See, that whole thing, I think because of that, I think that's probably the first one I remember seeing. One thing that does annoy me now is you can't seem to get the original films without the extra bits that he did. I had a couple of copies that had a time code on them and everything, and they were the original ones.
VHS.
Yeah. But now it seems you can only buy the remastered versions, and I'm upset about that.
That is still the case, but there has been talk about Disney doing something differently, where they will offer, hopefully one day, a Blu-ray version.
Like and broomsticks with cartoon characters coming. Yeah.
A Blu-ray version where you can pick which version of the movie you watch. Good. So it will still be like remastered, but it won't have the extra scenes. And
because they even changed the singer in Jabba's palace.
Yeah, well, they added a whole new singer, didn't they? And he's like dancing around. It's really fucking annoying.
What I mean, yeah, like they changed how she looks and all that.
Yeah.
They added extra bits with like people. That male hairy singer and the one with the big mouth. Yeah. But yeah, they changed so much shit for no reason.
I'd be very interested to see the original versions again after all these years.
So I had A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, the original versions. But they were like recorded probably off the telly, just like they had a better feel. The other thing that's worth noting in them is what's the big thing in the snow, the big bear thing in Empire Strikes Back, where Luke's
what is that?
clamped on the ice.
It's kind of like a winter
A
predator.
Wampa? Is that what it's called?
Wampa.
Is that what it's called?
It's like Wampa Beast or something.
Just a Wampa, I think, or
Yeah.
something. You don't really see it. Apart from when it first attacks Luke in the snow, when he's in the cave, you just hear it. Apart from when he cuts the arm off.
Yeah.
You don't really see it at all.
No.
But in the remastered version, it keeps cutting between Luke trying to get himself out and that thing eating, and you see it.
Yeah.
But it's scary when you don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah. They made like lots of alterations for the DVD release again.
Oh, really?
After the special editions, and then for the Blu-ray release again, they made more alterations.
Okay.
And you can watch YouTube videos online that shows the original versions side by side with the new versions and what they've added, which is quite cool.
What we've kind of briefly spoke about is that it's the very end. So R2D2 wakes up. He completes the map. 'Cause he's actually got the massive bit of the map, and then BB-8 adds his extra bit, and then they find out where Luke is. So they use the Millennium Falcon to get to the islands where Luke is.
Yeah.
Which is basically a massive planet of sea with a few little islands on.
Yeah.
And she sits with Chewie in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like she's the new sort of co-pilot. Chewie is now the captain of the Millennium Falcon. So they fly off. So she basically makes this trek up this island, which is like a really steep sort of mountainy sort of island.
Yeah.
She makes the trek up to the top, and you just see this hooded figure just stood there staring out into the distance. And then he turns around and it's Luke Skywalker with a beard, and he looks good.
He does look good.
I think
he looks
suits
badass.
him.
Yeah.
He looks so sad.
It was in his contract that he grew a beard.
Was it?
Yeah.
It suits
and
him.
lost weight as well.
Yeah, I heard that as well. He looks serious. Like, and the whole thing is apparently he's tried to start up a new Jedi Academy, basically.
Yeah.
Kylo Ren was one of his students who ended up going to the dark side.
Yeah, and probably like slaughtered most of them.
Maybe you don't really find out. Maybe Luke will explain that.
Yeah.
So they found Luke Skywalker, and you can tell by looking at his face that he felt Solo's death as well.
I've got 3 bits of trivia to finish with that we haven't gone into yet. BB-8 was voiced by Bill Hader.
R2D2.
Yeah, Bill Hader.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and someone called Ben Schwartz, who are both from Parks and Recreation.
Bill Hader's not in Parks and Rec, is he? Or is he?
He might have been a cameo or something.
Maybe. But Bill, do you know who Bill Hader is?
Yeah.
And he makes a Jabba reference in Knocked Up. Have you seen Knocked Up?
I've seen it. What does he say?
There's a bit where she throws up, because you know, like, the idea is she's like on a presenter on a TV show.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You look like Jabba" when he's dying. And he starts like going,
Yeah.
like that. He does a really good impression.
I remember that.
Oh, he makes Yoda impression super bad, doesn't he? When they're in the car with McLovin, he's one of the cops with Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
And he makes a Yoda reference then, I think.
Yeah. Don't see how they can, but if they were to bring back like a descendant of Jabba or something, and that little, that little creature Jabba has.
Yeah.
I just want to hear him again. Just hear the. Get Seth Rogen to play him.
Yeah.
and the guy who plays McLovin to play the little tiny thing who goes.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse, or whatever his name is, yeah. Or Michael Cera.
Yeah.
Do you have... That's good. Doesn't he get zapped by R2D2?
Yeah.
He starts zapping his balls or something, yeah. They got the huts in episode 1.
Yeah.
The pod race scene.
Yeah, which I like. That was a nice little addition. I like the whole pod race scene. That's
really good effects.
And the ending lightsaber battle are the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah. The rest.
You could cut a lot of the politics bit out of Phantom Menace. You know how I was saying it's got the 2 people from Lost in that one scene?
You could say Lost in Space.
You could say Lost in Space. Apparently there's an alien pilot in The Force Awakens called Elo Asti. If you take what the sort of phonetics are of that.
Yeah, L-O-S-T.
Yeah, it spells Lost.
There's another one of that.
Yeah.
The whole idea of why Luke Skywalker is called Luke Skywalker. Lucas.
Oh, that makes sense. Wasn't there a whole reference to Starkiller? Didn't they say there was Starkiller Base?
Well, what's that?
In the original script of Star Wars.
Was that his name?
He was called Luke Starkiller.
Ah.
The last thing I had to say was Harrison Ford's paycheck.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, given that he didn't want to be in the films...
His retirement paycheck, basically, is what it feels like.
He must have got paid more than anyone in that film.
I'd say so, or probably on par with J.J. Abrams.
What standard for a film like... What would Robert Downey Jr. get paid for being Iron Man?
Well, you're comparing it to what is also, like, equally the biggest paychecks.
Okay. What would Christian Bale get paid for Batman? Or is that, again, equally big?
You're picking the massive paychecks.
What did Jason Mewes get paid in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back?
Oh, probably something like $500,000 or
so
maybe...
I'm going to go for $1 million. It's got... I don't know what the big paychecks are.
I'm trying to think what the standard is.
Bradley Cooper in a given film.
5 and 10 million.
That's probably what Matthew McConaughey gets for his movies.
Yeah. They're pretty big actors.
20 million.
You reckon 20 million? That's a very good guess. If we were to pick like what Robert Downey Jr. gets paid for doing Iron Man and being in the Avengers, it is in the region of 25 million.
Okay.
Which is what Harrison Ford got. 25
million.
Plus a percentage of the profits.
Bloody hell.
0.45%.
I'd take that.
Which doesn't sound like much, but The Force Awakens is expected to break the 2 billion barrier.
What, for merchandise or just in general?
Just for the box office.
Is it the biggest film yet, or is that not?
It's not yet.
Do you reckon it will be?
Last I read, which was a couple of days ago, it was at number 15 on the list. But it'd only been on release for 11, 12 days at that point. Okay. I read that. So they expect it to at least break the top 3. So it'd be there with Avatar, Avengers. Titanic, and
Avengers?
Jurassic World.
Oh, Jurassic World.
Yeah. So I think he'll be at least get to the second place. But if it breaks the 2 billion barrier, he gets a $9 million check on top of his 25 million.
It's mad. Do you know about Kenny Baker, who plays R2-D2?
No.
About his payment for A New Hope?
No.
They got offered either a lump sum for acting in it,
yeah,
or they got offered something like, I think it was even something like 1%.
Or something off the merchandise.
Yeah, and I think he got 1%,
yeah,
which is a big amount, and he got made more money than all of them because of that, off the toys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy, and he went for that as a risk, and everyone was like, "You idiot!" And you make more than any of them.
Harrison Ford's next talking to Spielberg about coming back as Indiana Jones once more.
Again.
Yeah.
What happens next?
What happens next? Rian Johnson, who's the director of Looper.
Yeah, he did Brick as well.
Yeah.
So if it's anything like Brick, I've not seen Looper. Is it any good?
Looper's fucking great.
Is it?
Watch it. It's all sci-fi as well. Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. This
guy's got to come into it. This Snoke, he's got to be more prominent.
I think a lot of it will be training with Luke Skywalker, convincing Luke to train her, and then she does. So you'll have some like training montages, hopefully.
Yeah. Rocky style.
Yeah.
Is he going to have Luke on her back like Yoda was? Or Luke's
yeah. Maybe they go back into the Millennium Falcon and like find that ball that he was training with, and she uses that.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe that's why they planted it in there.
Yeah. But I think I'd like to see a bit of backstory. I'd like to find out about Luke and stuff.
They should definitely try and make the next one darker, like Empire was.
Yeah.
Which this Rian Johnson guy is a good guy to pick for that.
Is he?
The only thing I'm worried about is they've picked the director of Jurassic World to do the third, Colin Trevorrow or something. He's not. I mean, that's obviously a massive movie that did really well, but I don't think it's a good enough movie.
It was a comedy movie, really.
Yeah, I think JJ will come back. Maybe they'll fire him. They've fired people before.
Have they?
They fired Edgar Wright from making Ant-Man.
You said that. Someone told me, like, when they said about JJ's only doing the one, I didn't realise. I figured that George Lucas directed all of the other 6.
No.
But apparently he didn't.
He directed 4 of them.
Did he?
Yeah. He directed A New Hope. He didn't direct Empire or Return of the Jedi.
Oh, who did them?
I don't know. They weren't like massive directors who'd done loads of other things.
This is the other thing I wanted to say. Apart from obviously Han and the original cast, the Star Wars films are really good for putting, well, apart from Ewan McGregor, they're kind of really good for putting not well-known actors in.
Yeah.
Because it gives it a sense to me if you're actually there.
Yeah.
So if you're just watching a famous actor, you kind of think, oh, well, I know him. But I've never done that with Star Wars. I've always just seen them as people, the real characters.
So the casting was perfect.
Like, you never see R2-D2 in anything.
No. What would he be in? 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. Some sort of sex machine.
Yeah.
Hard 2D2. Yeah, like
ICUP. Oh, I don't know.
That's good. C3POO. 2.
Yeah, I got that. They've also cast Benicio del Toro, supposedly as another villain.
Alright. Do you think they're going to focus on a more like Boba Fett style non-Jedi villain as well?
Maybe, that'd be cool.
Because I kind of like the idea with, you know, this one, essentially the Dark Side won. Whereas in the first of the original, it's in Empire Strikes Back, the second one, where the Dark Side win.
Yeah.
So in this one, they've kind of won. So I think, how are they going to put this through for 2 more films?
I would be interested to see them bring in a few more things from the prequels. Not loads, but just a couple more things, like Ewan McGregor. I've thought of one more bit of trivia. You know when like big movies come out, they have the art of, and it's like an art book of all the storyboard and pre-concept designs of what's going to be in the movie. they found in some of the concept designs in the art book they've released for The Force Awakens a hooded figure that has the face of Hayden Christensen as like a Darth Vader type character.
Right.
Because people have now talked about it, and a few people involved have now talked about it. And originally the film was being written by Michael Arndt, who wrote Toy Story 3 and Little Miss Sunshine. There's one point where he stopped writing for it when they changed the plans of what they were going to do, where JJ came in and was like, I'm going to rewrite this, I'm going to take this out. But in his original script...
What, for episode 7?
Yeah. There was going to be more of a backstory into Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, and they were going to get Hayden Christensen back to partially play that role.
Literally partially, because Darth Vader hasn't got arms or legs.
Yeah. But that's something that they might revisit next one.
It would be cool if they used to voice James Earl Jones.
Whilst he's still alive.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Still good.
Or just like take loads of bits of outtakes for him recording for The Lion King. Because it's Disney!
Yeah.
As the new Death Star thing's opening up and like obliterating your planet. You hear him say, everything the light touches.
Yeah.